Hi.
Hello.
What's up? Okay. So this is Brian. First appearance on the channel. How does it feel?
I'm a little nervous.
Oh,
I'm really excited, but I'm nervous.
Okay, so basically we just went on a date. How was the date?
I loved it. 10 out of 10.
I loved it. So funny story. We thought we were gonna go to this random restaurant I went to with my mom, and we got there and it's permanently closed. So we went to Olive Garden, which is just like chef's kiss. They get you in and out in 30 minutes, and also it was delicious.
It was delicious.
Those breadsticks,
The breadsticks were good.
they're in our fridge.
We're gonna have a little snacky snack.
Big brain shit. So yeah, we did that. You got a pina colada and loved it.
I haven't drank a pina colada in a long time.
Does he look like somebody that would enjoy a pina colada?
Don't answer that. I'll be a little hurt if you answer that honestly.
Comment down below.
Do I look like a pina colada guy? We'll do a survey.
I'll do a poll.
Okay.
But yeah, and what did I get?
We got a mango daiquiri.
A daiquiri.
Yeah.
Delicious. And a mojito.
A mojito. A good old fashioned mojito.
I don't think there was any alcohol in it.
It didn't taste.
No.
It didn't taste like it
But
had
that's
much,
okay.
but it's
I got soup, the gnocchi soup.
which we still have some in the fridge.
So good. You got chicken parmesan.
I went basic. I got the chicken pot.
Yeah. This was the first waitress that we've had that actually brought him water when he needed water.
I drank a lot. I drank a lot of
Drank
liquids.
4 glasses of water. Usually he has to beg our waitress or waiter to bring us water. This time she was like, "Do you need a water?" And he
She was on it.
Yes.
Shout out to the local Olive Garden crew.
I think her name was either Chase or Chance, right?
It was,
Chase.
yeah, I don't know if we should say that. Whatever, it's fine.
It's spelled CH. I'm just kidding. Anyway, and then we went to the movie theater and we had pre-bought tickets. And so we go in. Oh, first of all, we went to Walmart, got matching. Oh my god, I'm not wearing mine, but sorry, it's on here. I'm sweating my dick off, but
It is really hot.
we got matching sweatshirts because I get super cold in movie theaters, and I think you said you do too.
Yeah.
So we got matching sweatshirts and then went to the theater and had an interesting experience, to say the least.
Yeah,
We don't want to be boomers, and we also don't want to be Karens, but it was not an enjoyable experience. But the girl who made my hurricane was really nice.
the bartender at the mouth.
She's always
was really
nice.
yeah.
Yeah. But the ticket lady and the bitch that tried to take our wasn't really bored, I would say.
It was really interesting just to see like where it was gonna go, but I think it did feel a little bit like spoon-fed throughout most of the movie. You know, we're trying to guess like what's causing this, what's the big twist and turn, and then
my biggest criticism, without giving anything away, is that time obviously moves in a way that we aren't used to, which is fine. And I actually really love that as like a plot device. I think it's really interesting. But setting wise, time is moving in a way that doesn't manifest physically other than in characters, which doesn't make any sense to me. Like, if characters are aging but time is passing in the same way that it would for us, that doesn't make any sense. Like, sunrise, sunset happens the same way that it would if you weren't aging quickly, or like within 30 minutes to a year. So that was my biggest like plot hole, I would say, because that doesn't make sense to me. But also, I don't really think I understand a lot of it.
Yeah.
I don't know what else we can say without giving anything away. What did you think about M. Night Shyamalan's like cameo?
I think if I was wealthy enough and like made such good movies, I could definitely
the younger boy, I thought looked like his son or something. Like, they looked very similar, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm gonna look up the characters' names so we don't like butcher everything.
Okay, that's not what I expected to pop up. Maybe.
Character guide. Okay, anything else we want to say before we get into like super spoilery territory?
I don't know that I would really go out and watch this one.
Would you recommend it to people to go see in theaters right now?
I don't think so. There's not a lot that's out right now, but at the same time, I feel like there may be something else a little bit better out.
Right.
I'm not saying Space Jam, but at some point I was like, maybe
Like Black Widow, maybe.
Yeah, Black Widow or something like that.
We do want to go see Escape Room.
I would have rather seen Escape Room.
We want to see it, but it's playing at the drive-in, which we want to go see it there. I think that'd be really fun.
Yeah.
Because I made him watch the last Escape Room, and you actually liked it, didn't you?
I did, actually.
It's such like a campy movie, but it's very entertaining, and I actually really like it.
I just, before dating you, I just never really watched scary movies, and I've seen so many scary movies recently.
All we do is watch horror movies and obsess about Gabby and a drama, right? I've really changed his life for the better.
Something like that.
We have some opinions about Gabby Anna for sure, which I do want to make a video about soon.
Well, she's always got fresh content coming. I'm sure we'll do one soon.
Yeah, content. But okay, let's go into if we think that the characters were cast in a way that was believable as they age.
Okay, so now that we can say spoilers.
Do we want to say spoilers?
I mean, we should at least banner it. Spoilers, if you're still awake.
Okay.
If you haven't seen this and you want to see this, you should probably...
If you're here for the actual substance of this content, we're going to go into spoilers about the movie. If you're just trying to fall asleep, good luck with that. But believability on casting.
I didn't think it was scored too high.
You were into the mole prosthetic.
I didn't know that there's a lot of things that I have issues with. And I mean, number one, I guess the dad.
Yeah, we're going to go each character.
Okay.
So Alex Wolff is the guy who was in Hereditary. I think that's his name, right? He's the one who played the younger son of the family. That's like the main characters or like protagonist. And I really do like him as an actor. I actually think he's like really talented. This is what I do really like. For only knowing characters for 30 minutes, they do make it pretty emotionally like triggering to see somebody go through like a very instantaneous things and trauma and make it seem believable. I think predominantly on him as an actor because he's really good at that. If you've seen Hereditary, you know his work. And he's just really good at getting hysterical and being believable on screen.
Yeah.
So
holding it.
I know,
and he's
that got
crying.
to me.
I was really...
When he like grabbed his head.
Yeah, that was such a natural like parental response.
It was like dad and son,
yeah, not like a forced like it was just kind of like
I've got you.
Whatever condition you're in, like I'm gonna help.
Yeah,
and I like that.
Yeah,
but
so
the acting's pretty okay in the movie, honestly.
Do you think character-wise, casting-wise, that he's believable given all the people that played him?
Yeah, I think so. Before we say anything else about anyone else, I just want to say that my only big issue really with the character development and the different age groups and stuff that they picked was that they didn't really match up too much in some instances with people.
Like the way they looked?
Yeah, and then mainly it's like whenever they were talking and having scenes, they would have to show people from the back only, which was a big thing I didn't like.
Yeah, I really did feel like they kind of relied on that a little bit too much to where it was distracting from the scenes.
It was distracting.
Because you can tell whenever they start to age in the movie that they're not wanting to show certain age ranges because I don't think they were able to cast appropriate actors or actresses for those roles. So I do feel like that took me out of the movie because I could tell they're not showing the back of or the front of their faces because they probably couldn't find somebody that fit that.
And I mean, I know they were still trying to use like the little kid like voice, especially.
That was distracting too, though.
Yeah, because I mean, going again with like all your cells like generating and stuff, like, wouldn't your voice kind of go along with it, or like age really quick suddenly? Wouldn't you be like a 40-year-old man and not keep like the same little kid voice?
Yeah,
so,
it was really jarring too to see the kids age, but the parents like not really age. Like the kids aged like 5 years and the parents look the same, which I know they're saying like once you get to a certain age you don't really like look like you mature that much over like 5 years.
Kind of like the same, yeah.
But that much of the same?
Yeah,
I don't think so. Okay, so let's go into the sister. Okay, we have some tea with the sister. So, whoa, what is that name? Thomason McKenzie.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, Thomason.
Okay, that's an odd name. I bet her dad's name was Thomas, and he was like, I'm gonna name my child as my name. But what I don't like, and you mentioned this, is that they sexualized her a lot in the movie to a point where it was distracting from the plot, and I don't think it was really necessary. I know that they were trying to show that she matured by being like, she has titties now, but like, is that necessary? Do we need to see that when she's supposed to be like 12 or 15? Like, I don't feel like that's needed.
Yeah, she was around 11, I think, when they were like, when they started like, you know, kind of shooting all that about her, and like, the boy makes a comment that his shorts don't fit, and they don't really like show anything on that. So, but then when the girl is on screen, they're like, oh yeah, here's a new swimsuit, go change. Like, it's like,
yeah, there were just some like odd. It was like this like awkward feeling of being like they're going from 6 to teenagers and like not knowing how to like take that in an appropriate way as an audience member. It just feels like really uncomfortable, especially since
I don't know, we'll
get to the next character, but there's a girl who goes from like 6 to 16 and has a baby, and you're just like, I'm having a hard time processing this without feeling like it's a child having a baby. Like, that feels really weird to me. But yeah, so Maddox was like 16 and then Trent was 15. Those are the two characters we've talked about so far. You did notice that her eyes are brown whenever she gets like 30, 40-ish in the movie.
Yeah, she keeps, from the little girl on, she has like blue eyes, and then she goes into this 15 age and she has blue eyes still, and then when she gets a little bit older, I'm assuming it's like, I don't know, around 30 or 40, because the guy mentioned he's like 50-ish around the end. Again, sorry for all these spoilers.
No, we've already given a warning.
Okay.
It's okay.
But yeah, I noticed her eyes are brown, and I was like, that's just kind of strange.
Haven't they been blue the whole time? Yeah.
And obviously I have brown eyes my whole life, so I don't know.
What she looks like.
I don't know if that happens or not, or maybe because maybe these science people will know. Like, maybe your cells like regenerate so crazy that your color changes. I don't know.
I don't think so. I think it was maybe just an oversight in casting. Because like feature-wise and like hair-wise and body type-wise, she is believable. It's just the eyes that are like...
It's the eyes that threw me
They're
off.
brown now.
They're brown now.
Okay, now we're gonna go to Kara, who in the movie is like supposed to be 15. She starts out like 6 years old, right?
Yeah, she's
young.
supposed to,
She looks way
supposed to be
younger.
around the same age as their boy, which is about 6.
Yeah. She's played by Eliza Scanlon. First of all, the child and the adult that played this character, I feel like were very like beautiful characters. I felt like they were like really like aesthetically pleasing to look at. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And like conventionally attractive by that, like just like a blonde, like blue-eyed, you know, pretty person. Whatever. So that's what I will say. I did think that the casting on that was believable. You only see her at... They don't show her face whenever she's in between like 6 and 15. They kind of like put her off screen so you don't have to like see that.
Yeah, I kind of wish they would have at least had more of that, because the only times you really see her is when she's like stuffing her face, like eating.
That was a lot.
And she kind of like crunched over and like eating pasta and stuff.
Yeah.
And you're just like, is she a monster?
Also, I'm pretty sure, going back to Trent, I'm pretty sure that they CGI'd his face onto the little boy's body in some of the scenes.
Really?
And I kept looking at it like, this does not look right. I was like, wait, I could be wrong, but like, something about it was off. He had like really like lanky, skinny arms, but his face. I was like, what is this? I don't... Anyway. Okay, so then we have...
Well, you still want to talk about the girl?
What about her? The bird? Sure. What do you want to say?
I mean, no, if we're just talking about it, I mean, one of the issues that we were at too with that was that she ends up, you know, hanging out with the young boy for a second.
Is that how you get pregnant?
If you hang around any kind of boys, I guess, yeah. But basically, she ends up getting pregnant, and then immediately, you know, starts showing, and they realize that they have an issue because she's got to pop that baby out somehow. And so, you know, she ends up having this kid, and the kid thing I thought was really cool, even though it's really, really sad. But like the fact that
They put him down for like a minute, and the baby died, because I mean that is like a proven thing that if babies don't get affection, they die because they're not getting like human contact. So they kind of played on that to where they put the baby down for 1 minute to attend to the mother, and it died in that span because it was like half a year, or like a portion of a year.
Yeah.
The way they never explicitly say, but they basically say that half an hour is 1 year, right?
I think that's what they said, yeah.
So that would be like 2 months, which a baby would die. 2 months of no contact.
Yeah, if nobody, yeah. So
it's sad, but yeah, one thing I kind of like struggle with, and I know it's like some weird time paradox, body paradox shit, but if a baby was growing that quickly inside of like your body,
that's what I was getting to.
but I guess her body was growing too, the same rate, so maybe that's why.
I don't know. We initially just thought that she would most likely die from having to give childbirth.
Yeah, that young.
I mean,
no experience.
Yeah, like, no experience. And I mean, if you're keeping the fact that like their mental state is still young-ish, even
and they're all in shock.
So I don't know. I mean, props to anyone who can push out a baby, because that's amazing. But it was, I don't know, it was just interesting to see them kind of deal with that and go through that.
It was. I don't know. It's weird because they're obviously physically growing, but I think they didn't really explicitly say that if they're like mentally growing.
When they were like laying together, she kind of mentioned it. She's like, I'm getting like new thoughts or like stuff like that.
Yeah, it was like, I feel different.
I feel different. So.
But by the way that the actor that plays Trent portrayed that, I got the feeling like he didn't really understand what was going on.
Yeah.
Like they were like, because he kind of like, in the movie, kind of gives the impression that he didn't know having sex one time could make a baby, which is like...
We won't ruin that, but that was funny.
Yeah. No, we're in spoiler territory. We can ruin everything.
Okay. I've never done this. I don't know.
just my limited perspective, but I don't. Him on screen, I was like, it's annoying to me.
He reminds me of the guy from Full House.
Oh, the guy who's like a host of everything.
Yeah. What's John Stamos? Is that right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. He does. I think he kind of looks like him. I don't know, but
so
their whole dynamic with it was just crazy. It was so hard to keep up with in the beginning. You really didn't know what was going on, and then it just seemed kind of like
you could tell, like the mom, which I don't know if I'll put the TikTok that reminded me of this in this, but the mom in the beginning gave me the TikTok vibes of the girl being like an overworked woman at a pool party. The vibe you get from the mom at the very beginning of the film, like she's on vacation, but she's obviously like emotionally distressed, and you come to find out that they're gonna get separated or whatever. And
she has a tumor.
Oh, she has a tumor. Which I honestly, before they got on the beach and that whole scene happened, I thought they were talking about him having medical issues, not her.
No, yeah, but I don't know.
They didn't make it super clear, but anyway, she did have it. We'll get to her in a second, but what did you like him losing his vision?
I did. That was one thing that I really did not enjoy because it's annoying and I have really bad vision anyway. So I was like, are my contacts messing up or not? But they did a really good job in the movie of in certain scenes whenever they black out or get disoriented, the camera work is really nice where you can kind of
mimics it.
It kind of mimics it. So as he gets older and ages, there does come a point in time when he starts. There's a scene where you all of a sudden just pan over, and it looks like, for those of you who don't have perfect vision, like Shell, it's when you don't have your glasses on or you don't have your contacts in. It looks like that. Everything's so blurry. So I really enjoyed that little aspect of it.
Yeah.
I thought that was really cool, but it made me feel really sad for him too.
Yeah.
Just because it was because he's getting older.
And getting into like bigger picture things, I did feel like at a certain point it did become a little bit preachy of them being like, live in the moment, like time passes by, a fight is just a fight, get over it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was giving very much that, to the point that it started to kind of like get on my nerves. Because I actually was thinking about it, and I was like, there are people in my life who have fights for years, and I'm always the person who's like, yo, you're gonna lose that person at some point. Get the fuck over it. But it did feel a little bit like preachy and a little bit too much for me.
Yeah, I don't know. We both said we're just a little disappointed. I was expecting it to be a little more, and I don't know.
It's like hard because obviously we've already seen the movie, so we can't really give our like pre-viewing opinions of what we thought we would see. But you're right, like I feel like it didn't really give as much as I was kind of anticipating.
Yeah, and then everything at some point was just pretty much, spoon-fed. It's like, well, why are they doing this? What's going on? And it's like, oh, they're being watched. Oh, this is the whole reason why they're being watched. Oh, here's them finding a solution.
Yeah, it doesn't
here's
really
the ending that you wanted.
Yeah,
it's like
it doesn't really ever give the viewer like any autonomy to like make their own like opinions about what's going on. It's like very much this is what it is, which coming from like that director, I feel like is odd because usually his movies are pretty open-ended.
That's mainly why I'm surprised. If it was just a movie and I didn't know that M. Night was the one doing it, we're like, okay, fine, it's whatever. But because it's such a good,
Because I'm thinking of, I don't think you watched it. Did you watch The Visit with me? I think I watched it while you were at work one day, but it's a M. Night Shyamalan movie, and it's about these kids that go and visit their grandparents. A spoiler.
Oh no, we did go. We saw that together.
Yeah, and in that movie, they spoon feed you at the very end, but not
of old age. Because, he loses his vision. He kind of goes through another dramatic thing with another one of the characters that we'll get to in a second. And, there's that little scene. He's just kind of like sitting there with his wife.
Yeah, like maybe had a heart attack or something.
Yeah, I think so. Because he just says like you said, yeah, don't worry about it. Like it's all good.
And then kind of
we're fighting.
dies.
And then just kind of like, lays on.
Or maybe it could have been that they were trying to portray that he was having like some sort of memory loss or something, because he was like, I don't even know why we're trying to leave the island, so maybe dementia or something.
Right.
But obviously, like, it's like sped up. But then we have Vicky Cripes.
Sorry, Vicky.
Plays Briska.
Briska, yeah. Briska.
I've never heard that name before. Anyway, first of all, her voice is stunning. I loved her voice in the whole movie.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know what dialect it is, but like it was beautiful to listen to. I just kept, every time she talked, I was like, yes.
Yeah. I don't know, I think she played her acting was really good as far as like what they wanted her to do, I think. Again, I don't think we
She
really
seemed to
agreed
be
that,
like reserved.
yeah, I don't think we liked that whole thing in the movie, but she played her part really well for doing what,
Yeah, she was very detached, I would say, like as a character, wasn't invested, which obviously plays into her whole like character arc in the movie, which is that she cheated on her husband and kind of came here to separate with him, and then they got stuck in this situation and like reunited or whatever.
Yeah. The big thing I didn't like, and I do want to get into, is that, she goes, oh, well, I had a, tumor, and I found out, and I was just very emotional, so I went and cheated on you, and it's like,
And then like, when it
telling that to her daughter, by the way.
Yeah,
like,
but whenever her and her husband were having the conflict, all she said was, I'm sorry. Like, and not even in like a, I'm so sorry, like, please forgive me, it was just like, I'm sorry. It was a little lacking. But yeah, I don't really have that much to say about her. They don't show how she dies either. She just kind of walks off and then comes back and dies.
Yeah, my first thing was like, what is it, like lonely heart syndrome, or broken heart syndrome, that's what it is.
Her husband died.
Because, her husband died, like, on her, basically, which is traumatizing, but, yeah, they don't even show her, like, fall down or anything. She's just, like, with the kids again, and now they're just sitting there with two other dead parents, and it's like, well.
Yeah, what kind of therapy do you think those kids are gonna have?
They're gonna need all of the therapy, and they're gonna need to leave the U.S. to get that, sorry.
Do you want to talk about him or her first?
Let's talk about her first, because I don't think she
Okay, first of all,
was as big, but
Abby Lee plays Crystal, which I did not know that was her name in this movie, and also I really don't like that name. Sorry to any viewers whose name are Crystal, but I just don't like that name. Anyway, she's from The Neon Demon, which I thoroughly enjoyed that movie. It's a very good movie. She's so beautiful.
and Mad Max. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, she did a great job playing just the
Body.
hot model-looking girl that's just having a good time, that can't handle the stress well, even though I don't know that that's a real stereotype.
Kara was her daughter, right?
Carol, that was the little girl. Yeah.
And then her husband was the doctor guy.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So she was like, basically, I didn't know that the dad was like her husband until like later on. I was kind of like, it didn't connect in my brain because they're very much different in age. But do you want to go into her death at all?
That was kind of weird. I mean, I get it. Like, so she starts out by saying, she has a calcium deficiency. And so she's being kind of Karenish about, like, when they first get there, they're all getting their drinks and food orders. And then she's like, oh, well, like, I have a calcium deficiency. So are you sure this actually has a calcium boost in it? And, I took note of that. And obviously, I was, like, trying to see where it would go. But then they just, like, spoon feed it to you. Sorry.
Yeah, spoon feed.
They spoon feed it right into that. But, yeah, her death is, you can talk about it, but it was, I guess, predictable once you hear that. It's like,
Okay, and this might be, like, me reading into it a little bit too much, but I do feel like it's a little bit of, like, a PSA against eating disorders. just because the way she dies is of extreme like calcium deficiency, and obviously it is traumatized to like a ridiculous degree, where she's crawling through like a tunnel and her bones are breaking, and then they're immediately healing in like awkward positions. So she ends up being like this like really like distorted, like mangled
Like,
skeleton.
yeah, pretty much.
And another thing I'll say is I didn't like the makeup on her. I feel like it was over dramatized to the point like to where it didn't look convincing.
My main thing with her makeup and aging specifically is that
her body was exactly the same.
Yeah, I mean, she looked the same.
But they would just put like eye bags on
heavier, darker makeup, and then, you know, some scenes her whole cheek just looks like they got like blood or something and scraped it on there.
It was bad.
And
it's like they almost tried to cover up like bad aging prosthetics with like mascara dripping down her face.
No, yeah, and I don't even think she had prosthetics or anything. And like you said, it would have been nice if her like skin was like a little more, I don't know, like discolored or like wrinkly or
like
something.
it was like sagging.
Yeah.
Even if she wasn't like her body didn't look different. Like her skin was like not as elastic.
Yeah.
Or something. But she like kept this like 20-something-year-old body the whole time, but just like had eye bags, and I'm like, and bad makeup, and you're just like, okay.
Yeah, that's just a part of your late.
Yeah, honestly, like there is a big portion of the movie where she's not even like there, which I know she like kind of went to a cave and was like hiding because she couldn't handle like her physical.
Yeah, that's what, she didn't have. I mean, I don't know.
But there wasn't very much development. It's almost like what was her point as a character other than to be Kara's like mom? I don't really know like what her point or like purpose was.
I really don't think she had much of a purpose now that you mention it. Like, you know, the dad will get into it. He has a big role. The little girl, you know, is like
it might be that they're trying to make a statement about beauty being like just a limited portion of your life and how you shouldn't make that your entire identity.
Yeah, because so the main reason why I think that she's like hid away from people was because she didn't want anyone to see her.
She was physically different.
And she didn't want anyone to see her. She kept shunning people away. And when they would go to her, it would be like...
So they might be making a statement about that.
About vanity. Yeah, you're gonna get old and you're gonna get ugly. And you
yeah,
just gotta
and
get
honestly,
over it.
like her as a character didn't really have much other than like her physical appearance. So that might be why they kind of went the route of having her like shunned away for most of the film until she died. That's just what I could see. But like, yeah. Oh, she's also in Lovecraft Country, which I still need to force you to watch.
Yeah.
It's so good.
Editorial.
But yeah, I love her. She's stunning. You want to move on?
Yeah, we can move on.
Okay. First of all, I don't want to talk about this guy too much because I'm not a fan. Rufus Sewell.
Maybe.
Sewell.
Sewell.
Charles. Okay. First of all, he kept making references to, I think, One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. Do you think that's the movie he was trying to reference?
I think so. We'll have to
check. Jack Nicholson and I don't remember who else. I forgot the other actor's name he kept referencing. Oh wow. We're gonna assume that it's that, but we could be wrong. But it makes sense because basically his character kind of goes like psychotic, and violent, and harms other characters on the beach. I don't really have anything to say to him other than the fact that the scene where they're taking the tumor out was very traumatizing, and the tumor was huge.
Yeah, I had a hard time keeping up with what was his specific condition. I mean, obviously it's some kind of like mental thing, but there were just a lot of moments where he was supposed to be doing key things, like you mentioned, like cutting the tumor out, and he just, kind of goes off and then comes right back in, and I don't know, I don't know enough about that stuff, so it was just confusing for a simpleton like me.
because he was so like mentally incapable that he couldn't perform any like medical.
Yeah, I think his
procedures.
mental like decay happened obviously a lot faster because of that, and so that I don't know. I guess that's like you said, it's kind of depressing. It's just like if you're gonna end up losing your mind so fast eventually that you're not gonna be able to do anything. So I'm not sure.
Oh my god, the girl who played her is Miss Honey and Matilda. The adult Maddox. First of all, she's like the sweetest character in my childhood. Do you remember Miss Honey?
I loved Matilda.
No, Matilda's
such
fucking mood. Okay, anyway.
I knew she looked familiar.
Yeah.
But I don't ever remember people enough.
Do you want to talk about Mid-Size Sedan?
Mid-Size Sedan is the best name for a rapper. It would have only been more perfect if it was Little Mid-Size Sedan. Holy moly. Like, that was...
Played by Aaron Pierre. I've never seen this guy on screen before, but I thought his acting was adequate. I don't really have any complaints. First of all, he has like stunning eyes. That's one thing I noticed. He had blue eyes.
He's a very, very solid, good-looking guy.
And he did have that good one-liner of being like, this is the one time they wish they were black. When everybody else was aging like white people.
Everyone's visibly aging, and they got their beautiful, stunning complex, and, I thought that was funny.
Yeah.
He
dies from the other guy killing him.
Yeah, but, he starts out being on the beach with, before any other one show
That
up.
might be a plot hole we could talk about. Why
With a
was he
girl.
still alive after a day of being there?
Yeah, if time, that is so strange because he was there with another girl.
The day before.
The day before, he has MS, I think is what they said. Him and the girl that he was with had MS.
She died.
She went out to swim, died, and then her body got like brought back, and he was still there.
But he was fine.
But he was fine.
Maybe, I don't know if he was younger whenever they first showed him, because they were showing like a naked woman's body, so obviously I wasn't like, how old is that guy over there?
Actually, was there a nightfall between when they met him?
I think so.
Okay, because maybe he got there earlier in the morning.
Maybe. I don't think so. Given like the sequence of scenes, it kind of seemed to me like it was the day before, but it could have been the earlier morning.
Either way, he should have, if he was on the island earlier, he should have been way older looking, and he stays the exact same.
The whole time.
Good looking guy the whole time.
Yeah,
which is,
never changes.
kind of not the movie. You're doing a movie about aging, but I mean, God bless genetics, I guess.
We have the psychologist, and what was this guy? A nurse?
Yeah.
A nurse, so that's why he was able to help the doctor, because I was wondering about that. I was like, how does he know?
Kinlung, I think.
And Nikki Cupboard.
Yes.
Jared and Patricia.
Patricia. I could not get the Patricia thing out of my head. I'm still.
Patricia. You know he did that on purpose.
I'm still.
It was Patricia.
It's Patricia. I'm still a great movie, by the way, also, but
Same director.
I could not get that name out of my head.
She has epilepsy, and you come to find out later that the thing that they put in her cocktail is actually something they'd been studying based on other cases on the island, and it did help with her epilepsy for like 17 years, given the span of time that's on the island.
Which was, they said was like 6. She went 6 or 8 hours, I think, without having a seizure, which then they said was 18 years or something of no seizures, which is cool, but I mean.
Yeah, which we'll get into like the ending or whatever later, but.
Yeah, so she's a psychologist.
She tries to have like a little campfire.
She tries so hard to really get everybody's mental together, but you can clearly see her like losing her shit as everyone else is, kind of falling apart. So I think she did a great job acting.
Do you think she actually has epilepsy, or is just really good at faking a seizure?
Don't know, but I have seen people seize before, and that is pretty believable.
Do your best ASMR sounds.
That's all I know.
You want to give it a... Or you can go.
Can I do this?
That's a good one.
Or is that
It's like, I used to be a swimmer, and you're like, okay, guy.
You're like, good luck, my dude. But no, I did like that he, even though I'm complaining that it is spoon-fed a lot, he did try a lot to like guess what was happening or different routes of like what to do, whereas everyone else was either
just like
panicking or too busy just going through stuff. So
having sex,
having babies at 6 to 15, which is a little weird, but whatever.
I'm triggered. I did the first time he was on screen was super odd to me. His character seemed bizarre. I don't know if it's the way he was acting or just him as a character, but I was like, his wife was having a seizure and he was maybe it's just because he's used to it. He was like nonchalant. But he came off really odd to me, and when he came back on screen to be on the island, I was like, oh, why is he still here? I thought they were going to be like a one-time screen time.
Well, they needed more people to kill off, so
right.
It makes sense.
But, yeah, he helps get the tumor out. And she tries to kind of like get people's mental state back in order.
So they're kind of like the helpers and healers of the movie. Like we mentioned, she's like trying so hard to keep everyone together, keep their mental like good, but she kind of is losing hers. And he's trying to like solve how to get the fuck off the island, whereas everyone else is like, wow.
And like comedic break, like halfway through, is like she's like, okay, let's come through and like talk as a group. And Abby Lee, the girl who plays whatever her name is, like the beautiful blonde model lady, is like, well, we've been having marital issues, which I thought was really funny. Just, give it like a little bit of like comic relief, but I don't really have much else to say about them, do you?
No, just, the helpful healers.
Her crying over his body was very sad, though.
Yeah, I like them, honestly.
I really do feel like every character was able to portray losing a loved one in a way that was believable, especially given the circumstances.
Yeah. And the main boy, he was very, very believable as like having that like young preteen love for someone where you're like not sure really what you want to do, but you want to be with them kind of thing.
Yeah, he's like, we're never gonna get divorced and we're never gonna fight. And you're like, yeah, guy, like that.
Stick to those morals now, my dude. Stick to those.
We're like us too.
Same.
I really felt that in my heart.
I know, it's like.
But we didn't go into how Kara dies. So she dies trying to climb and falls because she blacks out while she's up there and falls to her death, which is super traumatizing, especially for the other guy.
I feel like she got put through a lot, man. She got put through.
She had a baby in like 24 hours.
She had a baby in like 20 minutes. Actually, and then she has her first romantic relationship. She has a baby.
She's like post-traumatic stress in like 5 minutes.
And then she decides to go climb a rock to get that one.
Which honestly
passes out and dies. Like
her death, I think, is the most believable to me. As for I would see myself dying that way.
Yeah.
Because I'm the type of person, like fight or flight wise, which if you were in this scenario, you would be in that the whole time.
Yeah.
If you started realizing that everybody was aging, like you would immediately be in fight or flight. Which how does that even work in the time paradox they're in? But whatever. But I think I would try to climb out.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely like the idea of sending people in groups, like off to try to see other route, but they all passed out. So after that is either climb the rocks or swim out. And so I don't know. I think I might have swam, but like, because rock stuff is just like terrifying. Like dying of falls. I'm scared of heights. I feel like I would pass out even if there wasn't a magical force field. Like I would just pass out of being scared.
Yeah. Trent as a kid was really sweet, and being like, I can do a Rubik's Cube, and like always asking people what their occupation was and stuff. I thought that was really cute.
Yeah, that's cute stuff.
Let's see. Where are the other characters?
One of the main characters that ends up really helping out, if you can find him, is the little boy that he meets at the resort. That he kind of is friends with when he's young and 6, and when he gets there, they end up doing some kind of little like secret code thing that ends up helping him out in the end. So really, I don't know. Overall, again, I just wasn't that into the movie, but I did just, like you said, I was never bored. I just our opinion. I'm gonna call myself a simpleton. I don't know much about, the time paradox world and all that. So if you guys do, please go ahead and feel free to fill us in on anything you might have thought.
I don't feel like the 200 people that are gonna watch this probably have like a degree in time paradoxes.
You never know, but if you do, I would love to hear some opinions.
But yeah, concluding the movie, I do like how they kind of come to a resolution where the boy gets the code from the other boy at the hotel that tells him about the coral reef, which is like how they escape. I thought that was really sweet. It's a conclusion.
I took it as like your childhood memories that you build early on will help you on later on in life or something. If we're trying to get like deep about that, but overall, that wasn't too bad. I guess if you had to rate it, what would you rate it? The movie overall?
I would say I'm gonna rate it 2.5 mid-sized sedans out of 5. What about you?
I'm gonna give it. I'm probably right around there.
2.5.
Like 2.5 or like a full minivan, so like maybe 3 out of 5.
3 out of 5. We didn't talk about the rust knife killing. He died of the rust knife.
Okay, well.
Special effects wise, I really like the way they made it look.
Sorry if we're a little out of order on this, but yeah, the big things on that is that, when you get cut or when whatever, your cells regenerate. Yeah, your cells regenerate so fast that it heals up. So you stab somebody and it, heals right up. They can do a whole surgery and then totally be okay. You don't have to worry about stitching anyone up. And then in the end, the mom, is protecting the dad because he can't see worth shit from the crazy doctor guy. And she ends up pulling out the rusted knife because she's like, you know what? This will act as an infection.
First of all, he was like slashing her husband's arms like every 5 seconds. And I'm like,
that would be,
run away. Like,
that would be absolutely horrifying.
Yeah, and I know that like he couldn't see, but I was still like, get the fuck up and run.
Yeah.
Like, that was bothering me. They both, and then he like slashed her back. They both were just standing there like, oh, please don't stab us. And it's like,
as he's like, stab.
Run the fuck away. I don't know, that bothered me. But special effects on him dying of like the rust poisoning or whatever technical term it is, actually really beautiful. I really liked the way it looked.
Yeah, it was cool. The effects were cool.
Yeah.
I think that's what pushes me more towards the 3.
Yeah. There also is a moment where they're trying to escape and Shaw gets stuck on coral reef and she's just like, what do I... She's like underwater, of course, but she's like, what do I do? It's like, take the fucking thing off.
She's in a bikini and wearing a shawl, right? And to us, we're just like, she gets the stall stuck. And so we're like, just take the shawl off. Hello.
But now she's like, I can't. It's like,
this is Louis Vuitton. You don't understand.
So yeah, that was frustrating. But before you find out that they get out, you find out that the reason why they're doing this is to study on all the people who are taken to the island.
Who have like long-term diseases and things like that.
How do they get the samples out without going down there? That's a whole other thing.
I don't know.
But I do think that that's an interesting concept, and it does go into whole like the pharmaceutical industry and how fucked up it is. I think.
Yeah, because they're celebrating and kind of jerking themselves off to like we're saving so many lives.
Yeah, ominous silence for random bitch number 72 on the beach.
A moment of silence for the group.
Anyway, we saved millions of people. Yeah, so it's a little silly.
And then there's like clapping all around.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. The ending was on them just like being there.
And again,
at the hotel.
They meet a police officer early on, and he just happens to still be there when they get back, and he just happens to call and research all of it, and they happen to get arrested and take
like
everyone
less
down.
than 5 minutes of screen time.
So it was just like boom, 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 boom. And again, I don't know. I think we've just gotten used to more like speculation or like leaving a movie, and being like, wait, maybe it could be this. And they're like, nah, this is it here.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Yeah, I do think that, maybe it's the fact that they were like turned from 6 to 15
thought they saw somebody filming
Yeah.
up on the mountain ridge or whatever. So like I don't know.
I just don't. That's not believable in my mind that characters would actually go back and be like, "We're the kids from yesterday." Like nobody would.
Without somebody just like.
And honestly, I think that they would have been taken into a mental institution. No.
Yeah, if they
would have been like, they're lying.
If they were saying like, "Oh yeah, I'm 6. I was 6 yesterday."
I think they would have gotten locked up. I don't know. That's what I don't really. And at the end, they're like, "Your aunt's gonna pick you up," and I'm just like, who's going along with this as a concept? Like in the real world, no one. I really don't think. Anyway, so overall, that's what we rated. That's what we think about it. That's kind of like our overview on characters and deaths. And do we have any final thoughts?
Again, if you happen to watch this before you consider going out to that,
I would just wait for it to stream.
Yeah, maybe just do something else. Go watch Escape Room or check out the Space Jam or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I just don't really think that this theater experience is necessary for that as a movie. I think it would be fine on Netflix on a Friday night, but spending $25 to go see it in theaters, I just don't think it's worth it.
Yeah, but again, we're not movie critique buffs.
I mean, I'm a movie person.
You are. Okay, I'm not a movie critique, but I don't have any awards or anything, so. But it was fun. It was a fun night.